us discuss about the synthesis of porphyrin. See, synthesis of porphyrin can happen can occur in every tissue. Wherever there is mitochondria present, this can occur. So therefore, barring RBC, there is a possibility that porphyrin can be synthesized. Now, to synthesize, there are 8 enzymes required. 8 enzymes. Out of these 8 enzymes, step number 1 and in the last 3 steps, first step and the last 3 steps are occurring in the mitochondria. That's why only those cells with the mitochondria is capable of synthesizing heme or porphyrins. So the remaining steps, that is, the remaining 4 reactions will take place in the cytoplasm. The starting material for synthesizing porphyrin is glycine and succinyl-CoA. So glycine and succinyl-CoA are the starting materials. So let us see how do we synthesize. Let us understand these 8 steps, and they are very simple. And these 8 steps let us write down here. So just ensure that you write the methodology that I am following. So it will make things much easy. So let us write down the structure of succinyl-CoA first. So succinyl-CoA is CH2, CH2. So here there is a C double bond and then S-CoA. This is succinyl-CoA. To that, glycine is added right in the following manner. So CH, here there is a hydrogen, here there is NH2 and this is COOH. So glycine is added. Now what happens to this? So there is an enzyme known as ALA synthase. ALA synthase. ALA stands for alpha amino levulinic acid synthase, and it is a pyridoxal phosphate dependent enzyme. So what happens in this reaction is, here one CoA is removed. So therefore let us denote that CoA is removed. Once CoA is removed, the remaining molecule gets attached. So therefore we can rewrite that. So COOH, CH2, CH2. So all this is from succinate. Now from glycine, this is added. So here there is a hydrogen and COOH. So this molecule is formed. This molecule is called alpha amino beta keto, adipic acid. Alpha amino beta keto adipic acid. So once this alpha amino beta keto adipic acid is formed, in the next step catalyzed by the same enzyme, so that is to remove this CO2. Okay, so let us reverse it. So by removing this CO2 molecule by the same enzyme, CO2 is removed. So by removing that, you are left with this CH2, CH2, C double bond O, C, H, NH2. Okay, CH2, NH2. So this is the molecule. This molecule is called delta amino levulinate. So this is the starting point. This is the committing step of heme synthesis, porphyrin synthesis. So therefore this reaction, with the formation of delta amino levulinate, we begin synthesizing heme. Now remember, this enzyme is a very crucial enzyme. As I mentioned, it is a regulatory enzyme. Lead is an inhibitor of this particular enzyme. That's why lead poisoning. It infects this, it inhibits this enzyme, heme synthesis can be affected. Now let us see, we have this molecule, delta aminolevulinic acid. What is step number 2? So what happens in step number 2? In step number 2, we have one molecule of delta aminolevulonate. We are going to add one more molecule of delta aminolevulonate. See the way that is being added. We will slightly stagger the structure. So like this. So this will be CH2, CH2. So this will be C double bond O. Now here it will be CH. This is H. This is NH2. Okay, we write the structure like this. Now it is interesting. So 2 molecules of water is going to be removed. Which are the 2 molecules of water? One is this. 1 molecule of water. If the second molecule of water is this. Second molecule of water. So therefore, 2 water is removed, catalyzed by the enzyme ALA dehydratase. ALA dehydratase removes 2 molecules of water. And then what happens to the structure? So here a double bond, here a bond between these 2 carbon atoms are formed. Bond is formed. Okay? And another bond is formed with this nitrogen. So that can be represented in this manner. So nitrogen, a bond is formed this way. So ALA dehydratase will give this structure. So there will be a double bond generated here, another double bond here. So this is a ring structure that is being formed in step number 2. So the name of this product is porphobilinogen. Okay, the name of this product is porphobilinogen. So we have created a ring structure. Now if you pay very close attention to this, now this is nothing but acetyl group. It can be, we can represent by A. This is nothing but a propionyl group. We can represent by P. So let us replace these. So therefore, this is going to be A and P. So therefore, on the ring structure, this is A and this is P. Okay, so we have made the ring structure. Now, to make things much easy, before we get into the next step, so I have made this kind of structures. So therefore, this is going to replace this. Okay, this is exactly the ring structure, nitrogen. In the extension, we will be using it as we go on explaining things. So we will only add what is going to be the substituent group on this. So let us proceed with that. So therefore, let us deal with step number 3. So in step number 3, what is going to happen is 4 of these molecules now, 4 of these molecules are going to join together and form a chain. Okay, so therefore 4 of these molecules, 4 of them, this is N is nothing but 4 of this molecule, it is going to join together and it is going to form a chain. The enzyme that is going to act on 4 of this molecule is called porphobilinogen PBG deaminase. Okay, PBG deaminase. Now remember, it is going to remove this amino group. Once it removes amino group, so therefore 4 amino groups will be removed. Now what happens when 4 of these amino groups are removed? So when this is removed, we are going to have a structure like this. Okay, so we will have a structure like this. One of them is here. The second, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. Okay, so 4 structures, and these 4 structures will have its substituent group. So remember, this is A, this is P, A, P, A, P, A, P. And these are also, let us also give number to these rings. So this is ring number 1. This is ring number 2. This is ring number 3. And this is ring number 4. Okay, so let us number this manner. Now things are going to be much easy. Now, after this particular step, we are going to now, we are going to link these structures. Now remember, it has an, so this will be connected because the amino groups have been removed. So this is connected, this will be CH2. So this is the way this, by the activity of porphobilinogen deaminase, this is the structure that we are going to get. This structure is known as hydroxy methyl bilane. So this is an important structure, hydroxy methyl bilane. Now remember, this will be CH2OH. So this is the structure of hydroxy methyl bilane. What is going to happen in the next step? So in the next step, we are going to make it a cycle. Okay? So in the next thing that is going to happen is, let us remove hydroxy methyl bilane. So what is going to happen is, it will form a ring structure. So to make that clear, so let us remove all this. Okay, so in order to create space, we'll start from the middle of it. So therefore, this is the first one. The first ring will be here. In the second ring, we will adjust here. In the third ring, we will adjust here. And in the fourth ring is here. Okay, the 4 rings are formed and they are linked by methylene bridges. Okay, this is ring number 1, ring number 2, 3, 4. This is alpha methylene bridge, beta, gamma and delta. This will have A as a substituent group, AP substituent group, AP and AP. Now, this particular structure, this is spontaneously formed. Why spontaneously formed? Because it is a symmetrical molecule. This is type 1. Type 1 is spontaneously formed. Okay? Whereas type 3 is formed with the help of an enzyme known as uroporphyrinogen synthase. Okay, so there is an enzyme known as uroporphyrinogen synthase which is needed for synthesizing type 3. So type 3, the variation is going to be only on ring number 4. This is going to be PA. It's going to be asymmetrical structure. So this is the simplicity of forming the structure. Remember, this reaction also takes place in the cytoplasm. Okay, once you have uroporphyrinogen synthase, that is this asymmetrical structure, we proceed towards the next step. What is the next step? The next step is to remove a CO2. Okay, so to remove a CO2, and that CO2 will be removed from the acetyl group. You know that once a CO2 is removed from CH2CO, this is the acetyl group. If this is removed, this becomes CH3, it becomes a methyl group. That is catalyzed by the enzyme uroporphyrinogen decarboxylase. So therefore, uroporphyrinogen decarboxylase will convert all the A into methyl group. So we will make appropriate correction here. So this becomes methyl, this is also methyl. This structure is known as coproporphyrinogen. So this is number 3. Coproporphyrinogen number 3 by decarboxylation reaction. You see how it is slowly, one after the other, with a slight modification, amino group is removed, ring structure is formed, CO2 is removed, you are making uro to a coproporphyrinogen. Once this compound is made, now let us see what happens. If the next reaction is catalyzed by an oxidase. So this is coproporphyrinogen oxidase that will convert 2 of the P, the propionyl group, to vinyl groups. So therefore, this P is replaced, these 2 P's are replaced with the vinyl groups. So therefore, we have another molecule now. This molecule is known as protoporphyrinogen. It is called protoporphyrinogen. Writing it here, protoporphyrinogen. And that protoporphyrinogen is denoted as number 9. So remember, in the double bonds, we have not touched the double bonds, it is in its original place. So now we need to change the position of the double bond. So that protoporphyrinogen becomes, it can be converted to heme. So let us see how do we do that. So in the 7th step is by an oxidase enzyme. Protoporphyrinogen oxidase will act on protoporphyrinogen number 9. So therefore, this oxidase is going to remove 6 hydrogen. 6 hydrogens are removed from 1, 2, 3, 4, from 4 methylene bridges. And 2 hydrogens will be removed from 2 rings. So therefore, that will create double bonds. Okay? So that becomes an important aspect for heme to absorb light. Now, the molecule with the removal of 6 hydrogens are protoporphyrins. Okay, so therefore it is protoporphyrin number 9. So we make the correction, that product is protoporphyrin number 9. So this is the immediate precursor molecule for heme. Remember, this is the immediate precursor. So how do we put a double bond? So remember, a simple rule that has to be applied. So we put a double bond, ring number 1, we put a double bond. So that is easy. Okay. Now, also ensure that each of these has a double bond here. It is to make things, you will remember it fast, you will not make a mistake. Now you make it every alternate. So this, there is a double bond, here there will not be a double bond. So there is a double bond here. This there is no double bond, there is a double bond. This there is no double bond, there is a double bond here. Okay? So there is no double bond here, here there will be a double bond. Okay? So there is no double bond now here there will be a double bond. So here there is no double bond, here there is a double bond. There is no double bond here, so here there will be a double bond. So then here there is no double bond, here there will be a double bond. Here there is no double bond, double bond. No double bond, here there is a double bond. You see, it forms such a structure. Okay? Now, this ring structure, now this is known as protoporphyrin number 9. Up to this stage, now this will take place in the cytoplasm. Now in the cytoplasm, remember there will be a hydrogen here, in each of these places there will be a hydrogen. Forgot to add that. Now the last step. If the last step is, it will go back to mitochondria. If the last step is an enzyme known as ferrochelatase. If the function of ferrochelatase is to add an iron group, so Fe2 plus is added here, Fe2 plus is added, and this becomes heme. Now this is the structure of heme. We will write it heme. So this is the structure of heme. So with the addition of iron, we have constructed heme. See how we began the journey by starting with succinyl-CoA and glycine, and we have synthesized this in 8 steps. So I am sure that you are clear about how to construct, though I have not written the last 3 steps with the enzymes, but explain on the board how this molecule is synthesized.